getting into the throwing techniques, the most important thing is to show the kids how to properly grip the ball, and the reason why we grip it like that. We refer to it as a four-seam grip, because as you throw it, if you've got four seams working with the wind, it's going to literally pull itself through the air. So what we do to teach the kids is we show them that there's a C on the ball. So if you look at the ball, you see a C, and we tell them to grab right across the C with their fingers, and then as they go to throw it, the four seams that will be rotating are 1, 2, 3, and 4, which will literally pull it through the air. So that's the four-seam grip. Okay, as we're holding the four-seam grip, you'll see the ball is not buried all the way against the palm of my hand, because I need to be able to snap my wrist and have this through here. Even on the smaller kids, they'll grab the four-seam grip and may not be able to get their thumb all the way around it, but that's still what we're looking for, is a little gap. The number one mistake is when the kids pick it up like this and you don't see a gap in here. So we want to correct that every single day and get that to where when they're getting the four-seam grip, we have this little void between the hand and the actual ball.
Scott, in practice, I always tend to find that I have a girl that ends up throwing really high a lot. How would you remedy that? Or what would you see the component that would create that?
Well, I think that's a good question, because I think typically the problem is, as a coach, we'll tell them what they're doing wrong, but we don't show them how to fix it. And if I had a kid that was releasing the ball too high, typically the number one cause of that is they're not releasing the ball out in front, they're releasing it even with their head. And so as they get to here, the arm in this position, the elbow's down low, the hand's going to want to come here and release up. So what we try to do is tell them to get on top of the ball. If I could see a ball real quick. As they're going to throw it, they're going to be in this position as the release with the elbow down here. If we tell them to get on top of the ball, we want them to dominate the ball from the top and literally have their fingers and hand over the top of the ball, releasing it at a downward angle. Okay, so again, if the elbow's down here, probably going to throw it high. So I tell them, hey, we get back here, elbow above our shoulder as we bring it through, and then we release it out in front on a downward plane, and tell them to get on top of the ball. This would be underneath the ball, this would be on top of the ball, and that's what we're looking for.
Anything in the stance that would attribute to having them launch the ball off to the top?
Yeah, also with the footwork is, if we get up in the air a little bit before we throw, as opposed to taking a step here and coming from here and then coming up as we launch, as opposed to getting up in the air earlier and then launching on the way down. So again, if the footwork opens up this way and we're throwing it this way, probably tend to throw it high. We get in a straight line to where my body and feet are in a straight line, my shoulders are in good position, and then I turn, the trajectory of the throw is going to be coming down. We're going to talk about mechanics on the lower body on a good throw. And one of the key words that we'll use is, we tell the kids to be athletic, which is meaning our legs are always flexed and bent, and we're always on the balls of our feet. Okay. With that being said, then we talk about how we want to make sure that we refer to it as our throwing foot or our glove hand. And why I say that is, if we're dealing with the left or righty, it always applies the same. If I say step with your throwing foot first, if it's a lefty, she's going to step with this one. If it's a righty, she's going to step with this one. So refer to it as throwing. We're talking hand, throwing foot, glove foot. So if I'm telling them to step with their throwing foot first, that means if I'm a right-hander, she's going to step with her right foot first. As we step, we're going to turn and make the throw. And I shouldn't use the word step. I should say hop. I don't want them ever to walk through a throw like this. That will promote landing on their heels and throwing the ball high. We want to jump to our throw. So we're here. Throwing foot is going to go first, up in the air. As we do, we turn and get in this position here. And then when I throw, I torque my body back the other way. We'll walk back, we'll receive it, and again, we'll do the same thing. We always want them to be getting up in the air on top of their throws.